Okay, this is the first video I've ever made like this, and it's direct to a comment I saw this morning on the Facebook group for the EufyMake, the E1, the UV printer. And actually, this is the second time I made it. I thought I made just this banger video, and for some odd reason, I forgot to hit record. So let's see if I can do this again. Maybe it'll be more poetic this time around. So anyway, those who don't know, EufyMake did a Kickstarter, and it created the largest Kickstarter in history, greatly surpassing the previous largest Kickstarter in history, which actually I participated in that one also, but no, that's another. It was actually a book or a series of books or whatever. But wow, 40-something million bucks, 45 million bucks or so, or more. So here's the thing. It's an industry disruptor. It can also be something that can destroy a company at the same time. Now, I'm going to say some things. Let's start with xTool. So when you think about lasers, who do you think of? You think of xTool, right? Am I wrong? You think of xTool. Where did they really get their start? Kickstarter. Yes, someone's going to point out that they're actually owned by a company called MakeBlock, and MakeBlock existed prior. Yes, they did. And prior to the Kickstarter, they actually had a laser out there, which no one knew about. It was just in a sea of lasers. Their first laser on Kickstarter, the M1, is what actually launched the company into what it is now. They delivered on time. When you think of 3D printers, who do you think of? What comes to mind before anyone else? Bambu. Bambu launched on Kickstarter. They delivered on time. They delivered a phenomenal product. I've had 3D printers before. All of them? Yeah, we all know. Bambu created something fantastic. Even the company EufyMake here, they're really a company anchor. And they actually had a 3D printer come out that didn't do as well. But, we all have anchor products. I mean, I have a lot of anchor products. They're batteries, and chargers and such. I got plenty of anchor products in my house. I have Eufy products in my house. Matter of fact, I have got a Eufy camera system over there I still need to put up. I've got a Eufy doorbell system, which I got through Kickstarter. Works great. It was delivered on time. I think it was delivered on time. It's wonderful. I love it. They're combining everything into this EufyMake now, and this is their first major product. They're disrupting, possibly, an industry. Now, we all know that they said, and they're now using a little bit of weasel language, starting delivery end of July. Okay, you know what? When xTool said they were starting delivery, no, that stuff started delivery when they said it was going to start delivery. I mean, I got my stuff when it said it. Same for Bambu. The date they said it was going to be delivered, it got delivered. It was delivered. Yes, it was for both of them. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But putting on the boat, knowing that it takes 6 weeks, then distributing, then we found issues. Actually, even before then, it's like, oh, that's the start of delivery. And then to come out and go, well, we can make, 200, 300, 400 per month. You sold 14,000 of them. If you had a Kickstarter of 14,000, you can make, let's say, 400 a month. That doesn't take much math to figure out that it's going to take you 9 months to make them all. And I know during the point when this was all happening, you probably made a few ahead of time, and and while they were shipping overseas through the containers, you were making some, but it was still going to take you 6 months to deliver them all, and yet you had a website out selling them. Think about that. Did anybody think about that? In Spanish, piensa, piensa. They with their own mouths said they could make up to 400 a month, but they sold 14,000. Piensa. They didn't say how many they had on hand when they started shipping or how many shipped. Piensa. How many were going to be in each shipment? First shipment, how many were in there? How many are going to be in the second shipment? In other words, when it shipped, how many were left? Okay, they found some issues. Then they got their influencers who they sent things out to go like, well, look, you don't want a bad product. I agree 100%. 100%. I don't want a bad product. So I'm going to go and talk about something. Popeyes. Yes, black people love Popeyes. I ain't going to lie. I live in a not black area. Not many black people around here, or at least the part of town I live in. But we have a Popeyes. And the Popeyes is slow as hell. I mean slow. Has 1-star ratings, not for the food, but for the slowness. Just slow. I go in one day, I was just craving my Popeyes. And it was slow. It was slow. It was slow. Now, when I finally got my order, after a very, very, very long time, the cashier did something. You know what the cashier did? He gave me an apple pie and a cup for a drink. And for some odd reason, and he also gave me an apology. And for some odd reason, I kind of forgot about the slowness a little bit. So I'm going to give a little bit of advice that EufyMake may or may not take. You need to do something. Because I didn't put this over in the Facebook group because it gets a little toxic over there. It gets a little toxic. And I may have some toxic comments here. Here's the thing. I have bought a lot of stuff from xTool over the years since that Kickstarter. Let me go through what I own from xTool. Not only do I own the M1, it's actually sitting over there because I'm going to put it into the garage because I don't use it because it's been supplanted by the M1 Ultra. I have the D1 Pro. I've even bought all of the accessories all the way up to the 40 watt and the extended rails, and it's going to go into the garage also. I should be selling this. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to start selling this stuff. I don't know why I don't sell stuff. I got the P1 sitting there because I'm putting it into the garage, which I should be selling. I have the P2S sitting upstairs. It's going to be coming downstairs in the next few days because it's being replaced with the P3. I own a lot of xTool stuff. One day, xTool sent me a box full of materials. It was a nice box. I had no idea. What? I was like, why did I just get this box from xTool? I didn't order anything. Why is this box here? And I opened the box, and there was a note on top. It was saying, we're sorry, and thank you for being a loyal customer. They're sorry for what? One of our orders was a little late. I don't even remember anything being a little late. It was full of materials. I mean, like a nice box of materials. Nice stuff. Remember that movie, The Menu? That pretentious restaurant reviewer? And she was trying to describe the meal, and she was like, it's just that little kick, and I'm on Bush. I'm going to tell you, this incident with trying to fix what's going on with the tank, it can make or break a company. You can become the next xTool, you can become the next Bambu, or you can become the next VR that disappeared, and people just going like, you know what, they're gone. You are changing, or have the potential to change, UV printing. Remember, nobody gave a flying crap about 3D printing except for super nerdy until Bambu came around. Everybody's into 3D printing. I'm sorry, less nerdy people. Lasers? Come on now. And to be honest, when the UV laser comes out from xTool later this year, we know how xTool does it. We know how they do it. They're going to, as the black folks say, throw down. They're going to put their foot in it. It's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. Matter of fact, I forgot to tell you about the other ones. I have the F1 Ultra. I actually took it to the office because I replaced it with the F2 Ultra. You see, I give them my money. And you can already see you're having an effect in the UV printer space, because you're going to become a household name or a disaster. And here's the thing. I know the creator space is important and it's growing. I don't buy these to sell. I know a lot of people bought these to go to craft fairs and stuff. I buy these to create unique gifts for my clients. Because, sitting here waiting for 2 weeks for an item, or creating something that's branded with my name that I already have. Like, here's a perfect example. This is like a Japanese knife set. I'll probably open this and review it. You'll see it later on a video or something if I'm lucky and get to it. Or like I did a whole bunch of review videos I haven't even posted. But what I'll do sometimes on these, or at least a couple of these I may not, because they're Damascus steel, I'll just engrave them. That's what the lasers are for. But instead of doing like most people in my business where, you engrave them to yourself with your stuff on them, because it's like, oh, you got to have people to remember you. I don't care. I put their information on it, so they're thinking about themselves. And then I just plain keep in touch with them. And with this, I already had plans for what I would do. I already bought, you can't see it, there is a huge, huge, huge ass box over there. It's full of 100 11 by 14 canvases. And the canvases are to use inside of the EufyMake. And when people, and I'll like make canvases pertaining to the client. So yeah, they were on sale on xTool. I know when something comes along, I'm gonna get it. As a matter of fact, yeah, they run some good sales on xTool every once in a while. So when I saw that, I think I cornered the market on those canvases on xTool, and that's what I'm talking about, toxicity. When I cornered the market and got like so many that I knew I could use for like a year or two, and then like go to like office events and do stuff, I was like, put it in the thing, and people are like, well, they're probably this and that. That's why I don't even put stuff on that damn Facebook group. Whew, that Facebook group is toxic as hell. Anywho, yeah. But you need to come up with something kind of like that box, and don't even give it to the influencers. And I don't mean don't give it to them. Still give it to them, but don't just. I would wait until and just put it into the final package, or mail it within a week of mailing out the actual thing. And the reason is you want people to have joy and surprise. I have an MBA. I'm telling you, this is the greatest marketing thing you can do. You want them to have joy and surprise, because it can really do that thing to put you over. In the last video, I talked about this, and I'll talk about it again this time around. One of the first black millionaires was a Dr. A.G. Gaston. You can look him up. I think it was either 20s or 30s. He started an insurance company for burial insurance. So in church, the preacher talked about him, and his very first customer bought his first life insurance policy or burial insurance. She literally died the following week. He goes to the preacher and he goes, I don't have the money to bury this woman. Preacher looks at him and goes, you better go find this money. I just stood up and vouched for you in church. He somehow found the money to bury this woman. Preacher stands up in church and says, look here, look how honorable this man is. He buried this woman. Everybody went and got a burial insurance policy, made his money back and became a multi-millionaire. That company still exists today, as far as I know, after almost 100 years. It's those little things. This could destroy you. People will think about this forever. Look about the companies that have had bad Kickstarters, where they at now. And they could have been just huge. xTool, huge. Bambu, huge. EufyMake, you can either become huge or they will remember forever what happened. But that little one thing, and everyone will forget about it. Oh, look at this. They delivered me this perfect product. No, in the last video that didn't record for some reason, I talked, no, it's like you need to come up with something that doesn't cost you anything, that delivers joy. That box of material probably didn't cost xTool anything. They probably even looked and went like, man, this guy spent a whole bunch of money with us. Let's go slip him something. Let's make up the fact that we didn't, that we were late on something when we weren't. Let's give an excuse for sending him. I think I still have the box. It was black. It was nice. It was a nice. They have these things just laying around or something? Just to create joy? I don't know. Create some joy. And I'm doing this not because I want anything free from you. Of course, people want something free. But I'm saying this is a disruptor, because when people like me who like to create stuff for joy for my clients, because you should see it when you come in there with like, in my business, a lot of people use Cutco, and they'll just stand there and they'll come in their office meetings and they're like, see, look here, people love your Cutco and they'll remember you. And they have the Cutco knives and they have the person's name on it. I mean, the person, not the client's name. I just sit there and I look at them. It's like, dude, you use Cutco? And I'm like, no, I don't use Cutco. I used to use Cutco. Now I make my own knives. I get nice knife sets like this. Well, if this one I may be Damascus, so I don't want to cut into the Damascus steel. And then I go and I take it, when it's regular, and I put their names into it. Now they have a nice presentation, and then they're like, oh my goodness. Now I may put my name on the back and my phone number so they remember, but I guarantee you they remember me because their stuff is there. What is the sweetest name? So if I take, their stuff, or I print them standing in front of, I don't want to get into my business, but or whatever, they're going to remember me forever. And that's why I get stuff like this, because it's going to create joy. But the biggest problem I even have with this is because when people know I have it, because like even with the lasers, people are going like, hey, can you make this for me? Can you do this for me? Because I saw you do this for your client, I literally had somebody reach out one time, and it was so funny because I had taken the P2 down. I'm such a slob. If you just looked over here, it's literally sitting here on the floor. And I hadn't put in service the P2S. And I bought the P2S when it came out. I'm such a slob. And what I would do, I was on the board of directors of an organization. Whenever we had like orientation meetings, I would make glasses, nice mugs, and like give them out during the orientation meetings. And I was no longer on the board of directors, and they're like, hey, can you make some of those mugs for us? We're having an event. And it's like, I don't have my laser in service right now. But when are you going to get it in service? What kind of timeline are we talking about? I was like, you kidding me? Anyway, creating joy. That's what it's about. So take your stuff, create some joy, find something that's not going to cost much. I gave some suggestions last time. I'm not going to give suggestions this time. Figure out something that's not going to cost the company more than about, 15, 25 bucks, of your actual cost. I'm serious. That joy will make you billions. 25 bucks will make you billions. And I think that's what you want, right? So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that, get this published. And I doubt you're going to listen to what I say, but I'm telling you, remember, did you just hear me? Now, Bambu, they delivered on time. Did you hear me say I had a whole bunch of Bambu stuff? I love my Bambu 3D printer, and they've come up with 3D printers since then. But it works great. You don't see me doing it. Did you hear me mark off all of the xTool stuff I have? They created joy for me, and for some odd reason, I'm a fanboy. I'm a fanboy of Bambu, but I'm a super fanboy of xTool. P2, P2S, P3, M1 Ultra. I mean, come on. Are you putting in your head how much I done spent on them? You got to create super fans. You create super fans. Even in this, not this, in the Facebook group for your very own thing, look in there are people who are talking about some of my videos where it's like, I was following, you did this, this, and this, and you had promised to put out more videos on the P2 or videos on the P2. I made the videos. I just never published them because my stuff with my staff, they never caught up to publish the videos because we have other stuff to do. So I don't even know if this will get out because there's so much stuff to do in my regular business and my regular YouTube channels. And now I got another YouTube channel. It's hard to catch up with stuff like this because these are passion videos, okay? And not business videos. This is passion. Anyway, my passion is I would love to be a fanboy. And when you come out with the E2 or whatever, with a larger bed, or you come out with that new ink system where you have like the Epson where it's just a big feeder system or something, or whatever you're going to do in the future, I'd love to be there. Because I love to create joy in my clients. I love to see their face, and I love to see it when when I give them a cutting board and it has their name on it and not mine. That's why I have the lasers. I love it. That's why I have a fiber laser. When I give them a knife that is engraved with their information, not mine, like Cutco. And I'm already imagining all the stuff I'm going to create for my clients to bring them joy. Bring joy. And I'm going to end it there.